Hello again, and welcome to episode 6 in this series of 8, where we're unboxing and reviewing 7 different USB rechargeable keychain flashlights for £15 or under, with a view to helping you avoid the dim and steering you to the brightest and best choice for your money. So this being episode 6 means we have completed 5 reviews in this series, and if you haven't seen those, please check them out to see how those other flashlights have fared. Link to those videos in the description. So today we'll be running the EVERBRITE Mini USB rechargeable keychain offering through its paces. So with that said, let's get into it and see what this flashlight delivers. Our first criteria, build quality and overall aesthetic. As always, starting with the packaging. This flashlight comes in a blister pack, so positives are you can see exactly what you're getting, and the printed materials do a good job of relaying the modes, brightness levels and ratings, along with some further features and the manufacturer contact details to the rear. The first thing that struck me was the overall size of this flashlight. Definitely the largest of all 7 offerings we have on test. Some of the others have been the same size and weight as just the battery alone, but let's not damn it completely at this point. Let's open it up and see how it handles. So the out-of-box experience, not much to get excited about, as we can already see what we have. But worth saying that the micro USB cable is a decent length. And the keychain attachment that we're getting here as well is quite elaborate. It has a spinner in the centre and quite a robust clip on the end as well. Not quite sure that I like this. It looks a bit twilly in the middle and a bit too much length for my liking there. Let's move on to the size and weight stats. So specified has been 65mm in length. And we're getting that, as you can see there, 65.5, and a diameter of, let's go, 21 millimeters. So that's a third wider than most of the other cylinder barrel types that we've seen in our other tests. Looking at the weight, its spec has been 27 grams. You can see there, just over 27 grams, but that's just for the flashlight. I don't think anyone's going to be carrying the flashlight without the battery, so that seems a little silly. And with the battery, we go up to 44.5 grams, so that's more the true weight of this, as in when you're carrying it. So that seems a little bit odd. So it's definitely the big boy of the flashlights we have on test, and looking at the actual volume or overall bulkiness then comes out to be a huge 23 centimeters cubed. Moving on to the manufacturing and machining, it's actually quite well done. I like the amount of grip you're going to get on this flashlight is immense. There's all this area on the main body. There's also this deep knurling as well around the head, and there's also here a raised rubber grip as well. So the grip on this torch is probably the best we've seen out of everything we've had on test. Looking to unscrew, threads are pretty smooth. There is a weather seal O-ring there. As you can see, it is a detachable head type, and another positive I suppose is it has a replaceable battery. So let's pop that in. And read through it. So yeah, I like this element here as well. So they've offset where the keychain attaches to the flashlight, and you can see that you're then getting a totally flat base, so it can be tail standing as well, which I think is a positive. But as I mentioned before, I really don't like the twilliness of this, and I'd probably take this other element off and go down to just the one ring rather than having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces coming off the bottom of this torch. So looking at the manufacturing and machining, one of the things worth saying is the micro USB port is open to the side at all times. You don't have to unscrew to get to that. So although if you were changing the battery, you'd have to be careful not to lose the head. That's not going to happen that often at all. But in the recharging element, just be careful, I suppose, with no cover, that if you're in wet, muddy conditions, that you don't get a load of grit and grime and water in there, because that won't last very long after that's been done. Moving on to overall aesthetic value, or would you be proud to own it factor, the EVERBRITE Mini USB has surprised me. I was all set to feel it to be a cheap and poor quality item, but not the best we've seen by no means, but it's definitely not the worst, and actually is pretty good, hence a pretty good score for the build quality and overall aesthetic of 7 out of 10. So criteria 2, functionality and ease of use. The modes of operation. So the EVERBRITE Mini USB uses a back and forth twist method for its user interface to operate and change mode, and has 4 modes. So on the first twist, which is basically bottoming out the torch, you get a low mode, so twist back and twist back forward again. There's a medium output mode, twist again for a high mode, and then twist again for a strobe mode, and then twist again, you cycle back round and it goes back to the low mode. All modes are solid in operation with no flickering whatsoever, and again, having the tail stand and replaceable battery is definitely a plus point for the overall functionality and ease of use. And lastly in this section, would it be the bulkiest item on my keychain? And again, this is where this torch is going to probably fall down, because yeah, it probably is going to be the bulkiest thing, or put it this way, it's more bulk than I'd be willing to carry every day on my keys at this size. That said, I think it has a place. You know, if you left it in your car or beside the bed, it's a good torch, but not for keychain, which is what it's sold as and what it comes with. And for me, it's just too big for that. So I'm going to give that a score of 7 out of 10. I think that's fair. If you're not so worried about the size, then maybe you'd rate this higher. But for me, I'm going to put it as a 7 out of 10 for functionality and ease of use. So performance is our next test criteria. Outputs and use time. So of the 4 modes, the low mode is 30 lumens. So actually pretty bright on the low mode. Remember, we've seen as low as 1 and 5 lumens as a standard low mode output. So maybe that's positive, maybe that's a negative. And that low mode will run for 10 hours. Medium mode, we're now moving up to 100 lumens, and the runtime for that is 4 hours. High mode, 160 lumens, 2 hours runtime. And finally, the 4th mode, which is strobing, and it's strobing on that high 160, so definitely going to get people's attention. And on high mode has a very impressive throw of 90 meters. It's IP4 rated, meaning that it's weatherproof, but again, I'd be concerned about this open charge port, but there you go. It's probably going to live in your pocket anyway. It's been drop tested at 1 meter, and leading to a score for performance of 9 out of 10. It's a good performer. Our last criteria, price and value for money. So purchase price in early July 2020 was £14.99, so coming in at 1p below our max budget. So does it represent value for money? Well, the EVERBRITE Mini USB is both the biggest and heaviest of all 7 flashlights we have on test, but it does have 4 modes of operation and with some pretty impressive use times. And although not the ultimate best quality, it definitely isn't the worst quality either that we've seen. Add in that it can tail stand and has the replaceable battery, and things are stacking up nicely. It's the second most expensive of the 7, and on balance, I think again I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. So let's recap on those scores. Build quality and aesthetic, 7 out of 10. Functionality and ease of use, another 7 out of 10. Performance, 9 out of 10. Price and value for money, 7 out of 10. So a total Core 4 score of 30 out of a possible 40, resulting in a final flashlight rating of 4 flashlights, illuminating. So that's the unboxing of the EVERBRITE Mini USB Keychain flashlight. And if you can get over the size and weight, then this is a serious contender. But for me, this is just something I couldn't consider carrying on my keychain on a daily basis. I may keep this in the car or by the bed, but it's definitely not an everyday carry item for me. But it is a very capable flashlight. So just one more video to go before we can review all 7 of these flashlights side by side. What's been your favourite so far? Which one do you think will be my selection as the pick of the crop? Thanks for watching and tune in next time. Take care. As always, please feel free to leave comments, questions or suggestions, and if you could take a moment to like and subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. There are links to the products via Amazon in the description, and if you were interested and were to use them, it would assist with future content.